Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of my 9-round over the board tournament. Playing with black against a woman who is rated 1405. We spoke a little bit afterwards, and the rating doesn't really do her any favors. She's stronger than 1405. Short story. We both gathered she's about 1550, which is pretty much, I think, where I'm at the moment. So it was a equal game. So let's see what happens. And afterwards, we together analyze the game with the Grandmaster again. So yeah, I'll be letting you know what the Grandmaster spoke about in the various positions, so you can also benefit from it. This game was not as long as the last two games, where I played 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 4 hours. Today's game was about 2 hours. Uh, let's dive in. Um, yeah, put the glasses on. So she opens with the King's Gambit, Queen's Gambit. I declined. Brought the knight out. I brought the knight. All book moves. Um, the Grandmaster advised against bringing the bishop out first. He recommends bringing the knight out first. I think it's a minor detail. But yeah, that was from her perspective. He didn't like this move because it firstly blocks my pawn, and yeah, apparently against the Queen's Gambit. I'm not sure if this is all every time, but you castle kingside and you fianchetto your bishop, and if you do so, it's just stuck behind your knight. So he didn't really want to challenge the center like Stockfish wants. He didn't want to push this pawn. What did he say again? Oh no, I can't remember. Oh yeah, he wanted me to bring the knight out here, and then push this pawn and fianchetto the bishop, and the bishop is free to go. So yeah, so good feedback from his grandmaster. Very glad he was there. Both my opponent and his grandmaster didn't like this move. I was thinking I want to pin the knight, but if he starts pushing the pawn, I can't drop back anymore here, because then he pushed the pawn and I go back and he pushed the pawn and I'm trapped. But the grandmaster said, like, which is pretty much against, I think, the rules, where you normally don't trade your bishop for a knight. But he says, like, sometimes, or maybe more than often, I don't know, it's also about development. And if you bring a bishop out and yeah, just trade, double up his pawns, and just carry on with the game. It's just development is key also. So that's a wise decision. And normally in the Queen's Gambit, you don't take this pawn straight away. You wait for them to make a move with the bishop and then take, and have them waste a move. That's where they both agreed on. It's both my opponent and the Grandmaster. So not such a great move from my perspective, but then I thought, like, now I can pin the knight and he can't push me away because I can step here, and if he pushes I can drop back here. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything, I suppose, but and she saw like a good move, because I was obviously hoping to put pressure on the pin piece by going here with my knight, but by going here, or maybe even here with the queen, I'm not sure, she prevented me from coming in here. So at this moment I thought, like my bishop wasn't doing anything here, let's bring it back. Oh, first I castle. Okay, Stockfish actually going to bring it straight back. Castle, and she brought the knight out, and then I bring my... This is the thing with Stockfish, I don't understand. The Grandmaster kind of agreed with bringing it back, but thought, like, this is just a wasted move. If you don't take the knight, bringing it back is just a waste of time. And I guess at my level you still have this time, but when you get higher and higher and higher, every move counts. So this is just a waste of time. That's what he did say. Don't waste moves. It's too precious. Yeah, indeed. The Grandmaster knows his stuff. He says like, don't trade, but bring your bishop back here. I don't really want to trade because it opens up the G file, looking at my king. So he actually recommended, as Stockfish did, bring it back here with the bishop and pin the knight. Yeah, so we both learned a bunch. Yeah, okay, so the Grandmaster didn't really mind. I asked him also, like, what's the best thing to do? Take with the bishop, take with the queen or the pawn. He says both are equally fine. I took with the queen. Stockfish recommends taking with the pawn. Yeah, I kind of was maybe hoping for like further on in the game, I'd have 3 pawns against 2 pawns, like a slight pawn majority. And if I trade it here, it's like all equal. That's the reason why I took with the queen. And also, what I discussed with the Grandmaster afterwards, I was calculating how I should take, and I opted for the queen because I thought like because I'm obviously like in a forward position. If he pushes it, I can just take. Uh, he takes and I take, and I want a pawn. And if he doesn't take the knight, but he pushes, I can take with a check. He needs to move, and then I can just Okay, so I still be losing. How is this working? Oh, because I'm a queen up. It doesn't really matter if you lose your knight. You're a queen up. Yeah. So I thought it was safe to bring my queen here, but when he castled, I thought things have changed. Because if I keep my queen here and he starts pushing, yes, I can take, and if he retakes, or if he doesn't retake but pushes the pawn. But afterwards, when we're discussing it with the Grandmaster, like let's say he pushes now, is it my turn? Hang on. Okay, so if I would have just done this, if he pushes, I could still grab this, and if he pushes the pawn, I can take this, and yes, you can take this, but then I can win a rook. Yeah, so I failed to notice that, and both me and my opponent were given the advice that we were both playing too cautious and too defensive, because I brought my queen back. Because I was afraid to pin. And yeah, the Grandmaster said there's no reason to worry. Yeah, push the pawn. Yeah, so, but I know that for myself that I played too defensive. I played my, how do you say this? My blueprint, kind of like my main way of doing in life in general, I think, but also in chess. I'm a bit anxious and I'm a bit more defensive rather than offensive and just going for it. Trying to just keep control, keep everything safe. But it needs to end at a certain point because that's not going to get you very, very high. You need to be very offensive minded also. Obviously, you need to defend, but not just defend. Not out of fear, but out of like just common sense. Um, okay, this Grandmaster didn't actually mention this. I could be losing a knight. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure that. Okay, so if you push it, what do you? Okay, push the pawn, take it. Actually, yeah, the Grandmaster actually advised this line, pushing the pawn. Okay, so what would have happened? He takes. Um, Truly, I don't see the problem. Uh, yes, he's all over me, but if he takes, I can recapture. This pawn is defended. not quite seeing it. Anyway, so, but the Grandmaster did actually say he, my opponent should have pushed the pawn here and like get full control of the game. But she didn't. Yeah, and this is like, yeah, once I made the move, I put like a dot behind this move, like, okay, as the Grandmaster, because I made this mistake more than once before, and this is all to do with what I just told you, like being too defensive and too worried. Stockfish obviously recommends this move. I'm only thinking about how can I was obviously thinking like, okay, he's looking at this pawn. You can maybe push the pawn, maybe go away. But I failed to notice I can just step here, attack the queen and the bishop. Uh, uh, Grandmaster also said like this knight is a bit of a hindrance anyway because you want to fianchetto the bishop and have this file open. So the knight is in the way, so you really want to trade it off anyway. So rather than push the pawns, which obviously is never a good sign, just bring your knight here. He needs to go and you chop off the bishop and you carry on. But I didn't do that. I pushed the pawn. Yeah, the Grandmaster said it's not bad. Like I'm now okay, yeah, I'm down quite a bit here, 2.5 points, but when my opponent made this move, we're equal again. With this pawn push, I'm minus 0.7. And then, yeah, we spoke afterwards, and my opponent said like, "Oh, darn it, I shouldn't have done this because now you can get my bishop." And because I pushed this pawn, she was quite happy, and now she pushed this pawn, so I can't come in here with the knight anymore. Yeah, and now we're getting into a little bit of murky waters. Didn't play it correctly, and the Grandmaster actually said like way back when I took the queen. She's like, if you want to retreat, go back here, go to e7, and yeah, I don't know how he knows all this stuff. It's probably because he's a Grandmaster. But okay, so take. Would it have actually mattered? No, actually, it wouldn't have mattered because if I'm here or there, here, it doesn't really matter for this trade. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, now I thought I had a line, and the Grandmaster thought it was good, always good to look at tricky things. And I thought, like, if he takes me, I can take, and if I move this knight, it's my move. If I move this knight, and if I recapture this knight, I'm looking at this knight with two attackers. And if he doesn't notice it, I can chop it off and win a pawn. So I moved my knight. The Grandmaster didn't like it, but I thought, like, move it out, looking at this threat. And if this trade happens, I can always bring back my knight over here. But it's not the best move. Anyway, so now this threat is alive. And my opponent notices, okay, it was not the best move. But I was kind of a bit worried here because he's already looking at my bishop. And with the rook behind it. And my rook is stuck in the corner. So I thought, like, if a trade, which apparently is the best thing to do according to Stockfish. The Grandmaster didn't even spoke about this, but anyway, this is going to be a problem. Something looking at my rook. So I need to make some concessions, which I didn't really want to. So Stockfish recommends this, and then maybe push the pawn. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, so now my opponent brought in the knight. So now he's got 3 attackers on his pawn, but one of them being a queen. And I've got 2 defenders. And this bishop is in danger because if somehow I wanted to push this pawn, but I can't because the bishop is looking at it with the rook behind it. So I defended this pawn, and my opponent here made a mistake. We spoke about this in length with the Grandmaster. He said, like, you shouldn't have moved it away. And I'll show you a little bit of a tricky line. I'm not quite sure if I can remember it. If I Oh, it's not my. What was the thing again? Say that would have just pushed a pawn, and I would have gone here. It's a mistake. Okay, Stockfish doesn't usually see it. Grandmaster said that then you go here with the bishop. And oh, hang on. Oh, what's going on here? What's wrong with my position that's different than when I spoke to the Grandmaster about this? Hey? Bear with me for a second, guys. Hang on 1 second. I think we must have put something wrong on the board with my Grandmaster, the Grandmaster, because in this line, I think the king was here, and then if I bring my queen over here, so if you say, for example, yeah, I think in this line that we spoke about is that I bring my queen here, and I think my king was here, and then he said like bring the bishop here, thinking, oh no, my bishop you take, and then you take it with a check winning the queen. But obviously it doesn't work like this in this position, so we must have set up the board incorrectly. So this line didn't work. It didn't happen. Let's get rid of all the squares. As he moved back her knight, which the Grandmaster wasn't too happy with, she also got the comments that we're playing too safe, and you want your pieces to be in the center and not move them back again for defense. This gave me the chance to bring back my queen to defend my bishop and then start pushing his pawn. So I was down like 2 points. White is +2. With her moving back and me bringing in the defense, we're actually down to, we're equal again. Then he brings in his rook. So he's got now 3 attackers, and I've got 1, 2, 3 defenders, and the queen is like the second in the attack, so not too worried. Then I push pawn. Grandmaster liked it, even though Stockfish recommends this, which I will do in a minute. But now I force like a bishop trade, kind of. And then he steps out of the way, because obviously if I can take it, I'm looking at the queen and then take another pawn. And now I brought in, and the Grandmaster was really happy with this, because obviously I was really stuck in this last couple of moves. I got out of it, and then bring my knight to a position where I can recapture the pawn, which happened, and I do it with a tempo on the queen. So it needs to step away. Now I attack the queen. I did consider going here and stacking up the rooks and going for an attack on this side. Like take the rook when I have the rooks doubled up, then take the rook, and he obviously can't retake it because he's losing a queen. So yeah, that would have been a shot for a win. With that equal here, that equal, and then I make once again. Stockfish doesn't mind too much, but a pretty defensive move rather than staying in the center. I was just thinking he's probably going to push the pawn. Excuse me, and I have to move anyway. But maybe you only do this when it happens. And I wanted my knight to be here as a defender, but Stockfish doesn't. The Grandmaster didn't like it. It isn't bad, but the higher you get, you can't really make like 1-2 moves with your knight. It's just too much. Unless there's only like a really proper tactic which the opponent can't do anything about. So now we're fighting for the open file. He doesn't take it. I bring in the rook here. I was considering going for like a draw here, because I mean the situation is completely symmetrical. Two rooks, both a knight and a queen, and the 4 pawns here, 2 pawns here. And she moved the knight back. Grandmaster didn't like it, Stockfish didn't like it. But she said to me afterwards, like, she's pretty good in endgames with just a. Well, she's pretty good in endgames, but not when with knights on the board. She falls for tactics with knights. So she thought her idea was to go here and chop off the knights, maybe go for a good endgame. I brought my queen in so I could defend the knight. I did consider for a line, but the grandmaster actually said this is the best square. What does Stockfish say? Okay, not the best. But I was thinking like if I bring my knight here and then afterwards bring it here, and then bring in my queen, 1, 2, and then I can chop off this pawn. But she told me after I said to her like there's gonna be like 4 or 5 moves, and she would have noticed. So yeah. And then I thought maybe I have some tactics with, depending on how she would recapture, that I might be able to get double pawns and give me some advantage in the endgame. She recaptures with the queen. Quite curious to see a line which I didn't go for, because she was afraid I was going here. And the grandmaster actually agrees. This would have been the better choice. Even though Stockfish still says it's equal, you just go here. You just go here, and it's still drawn. And I can take, he can take, and yeah, it doesn't really matter. Take. I took, and I thought like, if she it was a drawn position anyway. I could feel it. She could feel it, and I thought like, if he takes, then I can chop off the knight and double up the pawns, and then maybe I have a slight advantage in the endgame. But I also saw that you can take the knight with the check first. I need to respond to that, and then he can take my rook, and I bring it back so the queen can't come in. And I asked her like, "Are you open for a draw?" And she was so, and it was 0.0. So wise decision on both our parts. I mean, queen, queen, 2 pawns, 4 pawns, 4 pawns. Yeah, it's just whoever makes the first mistake might lose, and we both didn't want to lose. We both had half a point out of 3 games. So it was a draw. Not unhappy with the draw. Obviously, you always hope to win. But what I'm more happy with is that I played with 85.8% accuracy. She played with 86.2. So, and I think that's because she was a little bit stronger in the middle game, and she made some mistakes. She was up, and then we got to a drawing position again after she made some positional mistakes. But yeah, fairly even game. I mean, 86% both pretty much. It's like only 0.4% difference. Yeah, that's something you need to be happy about in over the board games. So yeah, good. So let me know what you thought about the game if you want. If not, fine also, obviously. Give it a thumbs up. This is the first video you're watching, or maybe the second or third, and you're not yet subscribed. Please do so. Helps me grow my channel and get my content out more to other people who are not watching it at the moment. If if you haven't seen my channel yet, go check it out. This is my second over the board tournament. I had one last week, 5-round tournaments, and I also show my online games on this channel, Rapid and Blitz. Go check it out. And for now, tomorrow I'm matched with a woman who's rated 1335. She's actually We both play on the Monday afternoon together in the same chess club, so I know her well. On paper, I should be able to win, but she can be a bit tricky sometimes, so not taking it lightly. But I think I have a fair shot. Playing with black again, so 2 times black in a row, but that doesn't really matter too much. Every time you need to play solid and don't make mistakes, and look out for mistakes from your opponent, and try to force mistakes and get into a good position. So yeah, looking forward to it. Playing like a chess friend of mine, and hopefully get to 2 points, and maybe still then I would still be looking at 4.5 points maybe out of 9 rounds. So thanks again, and see you tomorrow. Oh, wrong button. Bye then.